Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Audio check. All right. I guess let's have some fun today. Let's look at the charts. One. I did some audio settings earlier, but I'm not sure. I'm still testing. How good does it work right now? But yeah, I guess I will see. Okay. Stream looks nice, looks clean. Candlesticks look well. Okay, we'll see what we got today. Let's move to the charts. Let's move to the charts. Right, 1 minute chart on the left, 15-second and 5-second chart on the right. And yeah, let's have some fun. Let's do some drills. Let's see what we got prepared for today. And yep. One minute. Let's remove this line and let's remove this line because I'm not sure what it is. The rest should be salient as it is. And yeah, we'll see. I will add the sell side here. Bottom left. Right, yesterday was holiday. Yesterday was holiday trading, holiday volume. So usually the day after the holiday can be a little bit more fuzzy. It can be a little bit more sneaky and reserved. We'll see how it goes today. So far we are ranging in a larger range defined by this low and this high. Visibly we can see that we are under the equilibrium point of this range from low to high. So we are technically inside of a discount market as it is. We'll see, we'll study if we can poke or probe any bullishness retrading back into this range from this high to this low. We made many 1 2 3 4 lower lows into taking this sell side and this sell side, so a lot of sell side was taken. A measure of retracement is in the realm of possibilities. It's quite reasonable to expect, I guess, but yeah, no hard line bias, no hard line opinions as it is. So nice relative equal highs, buy side liquidity here, large busy buy side imbalances, sell side inefficiency with a low inside of it, so sell side liquidity pool in here. So both liquidity and imbalance residing inside of this area right there. Well, long time no see though. Long time no see. Kinda hyped to stream again. So right now I'm watching if we can take this salsa liquidity pool in here and possibly warrant a run into this buy side liquidity here, those relative equal highs. Then I would be interested into this area in here. That would be a point of interest on the upside, but yeah, I will just leave it like that. If we can take this low, reject around this buy side, then I would look for this fair value gap, but that's like not a concern for me right now as it is. We'll see, we'll study the price, what it does. These lows are looking quite jagged. These lows are looking quite damaged. Therefore, this area here is quite too smooth at the moment, but preferably for a good probabilities of seeing run on the buy side being unfolded, we would like to take a measure of sell side liquidity first. There is an imbalance right here, a fair value gap right there, that price traded into and is respecting with the bodies, and now it's moving away, and that's like fine, that's all right, but still what I'm looking for is taking sell side first. Otherwise I'm not really interested. Even if it goes there, then that's not the probabilities that I'm looking for. hope the quality of the stream is good. It should be though. Alright, so we are stuck inside of this range right now. The smaller range. And yeah, it could go either way, to be honest. It could go higher, it could go lower. But what I'm looking specifically is whether we can go lower first and then possibly bulk up a run into the buy side here. I'm not saying that this will happen for sure. It might just take speed and trade higher first. That's fine, alright. I don't mind. Then still I will look for this fair value gap as a target, and then I would study if we will be turning around and aiming possibly for the sell side that will rest below this low here. That might be a play then, but yeah. So far looks like we are possibly going to engage the buy side here, or at least it's getting closer and closer. Alright, so currently we are approaching the macro, the 650 to 710. So I'm expecting price to move. In the next couple of minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, we will probably break out of this small little range here. And it looks like the buy side liquidity will be taken out first, which is fine. Then I will look simply whether we will gain the strength to reach this little imbalance here. So yeah, today I'm gonna play a little bit with the price. I will do some drills. I will try to take some entries, push some buttons, just to get a feel for. Nothing too serious though, but still I will be process and rule based orientated. So yeah, 5 minutes before the New York Open at 7 a.m. will start. Alright, so far very shallow run or very, very shallow touch on the buy side liquidity here, relative equal highs, and price is rejecting. So if price can run the sell side liquidity here now, I would still look for a potential turn and deeper run on the buy side here. This, in my opinion, is too shallow to be considered as a rate on buy stops here. That's kind of too shallow, but yeah, nonetheless, we'll see what we get. Alright, so there is a deeper push, deeper run on the buy side, and now I can extend this imbalance right there, because that's where I'm kind of like looking for next. If we can gain the momentum to reach up there, and we'll see if that's possible or not. All right. So far, really fuzzy and back and forth price action here. Everything is overlapping. So this is not necessarily like a low resistance liquidity run condition. We left a little breakaway gap right there. Consecutive encroachment on this week, and it starts running. And this is the next idea. There is a short-term high linked to this, so there are two things that are in concert: the buy side liquidity above this short-term high, and a portion of this only down delivery, which basically is liquidity and imbalance coupled in this little area in here. So this is a very strong draw on liquidity, strong draw on price normally. So if this market would have been bullish today, I would expect no problems in reaching into this area in here. It should have really no issues to do so, which, as it is right now, we can see that the price is literally failing to do so at this moment. So this already is kind of like a sign of some weakness. Obviously this can still change. We are like trying to get a feel for the price at the moment, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. So what we have relative equal highs buy side being taken out and price quickly rejecting that. So where is the sell side? It's right here. And very similar idea. There is only buy side delivery here with the sell side. So imbalance and liquidity at the same time, right? So very similar what we have here on the upside as a premium draw. We have this on the downside as a discount draw. So I'm watching how and if price will want to reach into this area, how fast, how quickly, with ease, or with hardships and stuff like that. So far, after the rejection here, I see like large ranges, large candles, reaching and stretching towards this. Not yet reached, but it's definitely showing more ease and more pronounced large ranges with imbalances here, potentially here, versus what we saw on the upside, right? But yeah, that's still early into the session, but that's what I'm like making a mental note of. It's 7:02 almost, 2 minutes after the New York Open started, and that's what we are working with. I don't hold a very strong bias today, because yesterday was a holiday, and usually a day after a holiday is difficult to work with a bias, with a higher time frame bias. So I'm more up to the intraday volatility and what the price will actually be showing at the time. And yeah, so tapping into the relative equal highs here again. So now as price is below it, this is working as a premium array. So let's see if it can show any sensitivity at all. Looks like a slow start, nothing too crazy really. Showing some initial sensitivity at the relative equal highs right there. So this is again somewhat of a bearish, more bearish type of climate. But yeah, this low went quite close into this one, but it didn't breach it. And what it really did, it kind of like worked off of this trend line here, gave a reaction higher into a premium array in form of the relative equal highs buy side. That's a premium array. It was purged already, so that's enough. And now I'm watching if we can sell off and breach the sell side liquidity here, down to here. That would make sense to me. So far, no first presentation. as it is for the New York Open session. Price is hanging around inside of this range, really back and forth and messy. So yeah, that's not a clean price action that's in a rush to go anywhere, but nonetheless we wait and see what it does. So one more time, touching into the relative equal highs buy side as a premium array, and I'm watching if it can resist it or not. All right, poking again above it. All right, so looks like we are stretching towards this inefficiency right here, leaving that sell side intact as it is for now. So this will be a key area to watch right now, whether it offers any resistance or not. Alright, first candle to go, and it completely went through it and closed above. That was showing like no respect to this as a premium array. So if a premium array is not showing any respect or premium sensitivity, then it kind of like hints underlying bullishness. I'm not saying this is like bullish, but this is showing some near-term bullishness. So where can it go near-term? We have buy side liquidity pool here. So I guess I can borrow this line, place it right there, and there is a small inefficiency right above it. So I'll mark it out. So this is kind of like the next potential draw liquidity. So anytime if price would trade back into this inefficiency here, I would like to see discount sensitivity and like providing support for the price. Obviously it doesn't need to come back to here, but if it does, it needs to be responsive in that way. Nonetheless, this is the next area of interest, the next point in which price may want to gravitate to. Again, liquidity and inefficiency. All right, small little fair value gap right here, and this large busy, right? And this large busy. So if in fact or indeed this is bullish or strong for this morning, this busy should not see a close below this candle's high, or there is a small volume balance, so below this volume balance, right? Right, so looks like this inversion for value gap will be now a factor, and I want to see a discount sensitivity, or I want to see it work as support to send us higher into this buy side and this inefficiency. Right now, this high and this high, they are relatively equal, so that's also like building up more buy side liquidity above it. As we went close, very close to touch the inversion for value gap, not yet. All right, there we go. So we tap into this inversion for value gap, and I'm watching if it offers any sensitivity here. Traded to the low. Discount sensitivity at the low, traded all the way up above it and closing above it. That's a good sign, but it's very important we don't overrun this candle here. We should not overrun this candle if it's actually bullish. So this week should offer discount sensitivity too, and send price higher into the buy side here if it's indeed bullish. Alright, so yeah, we would like to see a measure of expansion or speed in reaching into this area here. So far it's a little bit questionable, but yeah, the next one or two candles need to start expanding higher, otherwise we are just entering a consolidation in here. So this reaction here, this run from the low to here, doesn't really look that strong at all. So I don't see like a very good like bullish sponsorship around this area at the moment. Alright, another trade into it. Failed to touch the low. I like to see that. But yeah, we need to see some measure of protraction higher, if it's any good. Right, so far it kind of looks like this was like a push higher to engineer some excitement that this is bullish, and kind of like make people believe that it's going to go higher and let them chase that, while there is no real sponsorship on the upside. So it looks kind of like they sold here, and yeah, the sell side is resting still right here. That's what I'm watching right now, because this failed to inverse. Yes, we came close, we left these equal highs, but yeah, right now it makes way more sense to reach lower and aim for this sell side here, which allows for about 35 handles of a range. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So this inversion fair value gap now should act as reclaimed bearish fair value gap back to its original function, and it should resist price if it would come close at all, but yeah, preferably not even retreat back into it, right? So that's what I'm watching right now. I think where is the icon? Let's use this one and let's make it black. Alright, so this is kind of like the draw. Also, we close this busy here and close below it. That's not bullish at all. So lack of bullishness in here makes me strongly believe that this is the next probable area in price that we are going to seek. So also we are trading now into those relative equal highs here, which was premium array when we were below it, but now it works as a discount array as we are above it, right? So the bodies are respecting it, but I don't want to see price be supported here. I want to just like trade through it with ease and reach lower. It might offer a short-term bounce. A short-term bounce wouldn't be bad. That would be completely allowed. But overall, I believe it should then start pulling quicker and faster lower, aiming here. That's what I'm thinking right now. So this draw up here, I'm not interested in it at the moment. My attention is here. Can we reach the social liquidity here? That's what I'm looking for. There we go, nice poke below those relative equal highs here. There is a 15-second bearish suspension block that I want to try. If it gives me the continuation towards the sell set here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, so this bearish suspension block on 15-second chart. And I want to see speed. I want to see speed right now because it should be reaching for the liquidity quickly, right? It should be fast, it should be low resistance. Liquidity run lower. If I'm indeed correct about the draw liquidity. Alright, it got me out on this one. That's fine, that's okay. If we go below the suspension block again, I will re-enter again. If this stays true, because yeah, I still think the sell side is the draw. Okay, we are going below it. We need to close below it and touch again into it. Then I'm basically using the same entry or the same PDR to enter within the logic, the same logic. But yeah, we'll see. The sell side in here is definitely a prime candidate for a run. That's for sure. So I'm looking for the price to close below this bearish suspension block on 15 second, and if we do and we touch again back into it, then I'm going short, probably with the same idea, aiming for the sell side liquidity here. If that will not occur, if that will not happen, then yeah, I will not be able to participate in that. So yeah, a little pool of relative equal highs in here that was being taken out. The next area is this reclaimed bearish fair value gap from earlier here. So this is definitely an area that I don't want to see price go through if it's like bearish and reaching for the sell side here, right? So we touched into this, immediate response, immediate rejection. I like that. And I'm watching now the suspension block. We went below it. If we come back to it, I short. Okay, it didn't quite give me a comeback yet. I'm still watching. If it runs, it runs. That's fine. I don't mind. Still waiting if it can give me a return here. Looks like it's slipping away. Yeah. Okay. Maybe there is a chance. Okay, looks like it's not going to give me that touch to the suspension block, which is fine. That's only like even heavier than initially expected, right? Unless the sell-side liquidity here is what I'm looking for to see it being traded to, and it looks like we are about to smash it. Yeah, there we go. So we reached the drawn liquidity. And that's a very nice example here, because yeah, I was able to identify this as a likely draw. I identified this suspension block on 15-second that is a good candidate to be used to offer that run lower, right? But the price went above the suspension block on 15-second to a 1-minute premium reclaimed bearish fair value gap. So it colored outside of the lines here. Then it came back below the suspension block here, but it just by tiny bit fall short to give me the touch where I wanted to see it touch and then short there into the sell side here. So that was my idea, that eventually it did pan out, right? But the way it pan out, it stopped me out on the first one, and the second one was not really given to me the way I was looking or like following the process, the rules, and that's fine, I guess, right? But yeah, nice example here, nice example in the first 30 minutes. That's this is what happens sometimes. And back in the times, many times in the past, I would encounter a situation like this, and I would get emotional about it. I would be mad. I would be like chasing price afterwards, right? Doing like silly stuff. And basically I would be like triggered by what the price did to me. But obviously, yeah, it's not like price did it to me, it just delivered this way. And yeah, it didn't offer me a re-entry here, and that's it. Nothing more. It will trade for the remaining of the day, and yeah, there will be runs still. So yeah, let's kind of like let it be, let it go, and let's focus on the next potential opportunity, or let's read the price next as it falls. So that's the superior idea to it, right? All right, so what happened, what unfolded? So we made this extrapolated run higher that failed to reach the premium raise here. Then it sold off aggressively, came back to this reclaimed bearish fair value gap, touched the low, and then displacement lower, sold off, took out the sell side liquidity and repriced to this BC partially, but only with a week. So right now I'm thinking whether we can see a deeper run into the BC, and maybe probe this low where the sell side resides. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at right now. So we have this remaining portion of the buy side imbalances and efficiency. Maybe let's use a different color. Yeah, this one. So I'm watching if price can still see a continuation follow through this low, because it was very shallow, and a deeper exploration into the remaining portion of that buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And yeah, based on how we trade in here, we will either consider this low which I believe it's highly considered at the moment, and yeah, that's what I'm watching right now. Damn it, first stream after like 1 year and a half or so, and already have a very nice example of price action here. Let's see how many people are tuning in. Is there anybody at all? 4 people watching. Well. Hello everyone, by the way. Hello, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, expect more of my streaming in the coming days. So yeah, I will be grinding some streams and having some fun with reading the price action. So stay tuned for more. If you enjoy it, I'm glad. If not, then yeah, go somewhere else. Alright, so very fuzzy price action here right now, consolidated a little bit. It can't even reach this imbalance here, this inefficiency here. I will note it right now, which to me is still kind of weak, and I suspect this low, to be honest. This is where I think it will go, but yeah, following the rules, this inefficiency is the next draw on liquidity. So there is a small SIBI here on the 5 second. I'm kind of like watching if it will send it there lower into the imbalance here. Not a lot of the range, right? So that's like 10 as far as 15 handles if it unfolds. So not too chubby, but yeah, that's kind of what it does. Alright, so we tapped into the Bessie very gently, taking also or sweeping this short-term low right there, and we are responding some higher back into this SIBI here on the 5 second. So I'm still not convinced that we are not going lower, but yeah, if it wants to have some deeper retracement, then I guess that's something that could actually happen. So yeah, so far it retraded back into this little inefficiency here, closed it in. There is a short-term high with a CB here, so that's as far as I would expect. That's like the upper boundary for the retracement here that I would allow for. But yeah, still it could roll over from where it is right now. nonetheless, I'm kind of waiting for some cleaner price action, because we are getting chopped out in this little consolidation here a little bit, which is less favorable, I guess, price action at the moment. Slightly less favorable. So what we got here, we traded above that CB, below that CB. Now I'm watching if it can offer some resistance. It has relative equal highs right to the left, so it might be difficult for this to see a significant drop right away, but we'll see, right? But yeah, the buy side here looks kind of juicy on the 5 second at least, so that's a potential there. All right. So yeah, it's spending a lot of time in this area and here, which I don't like to see that, because this is kind of like suggesting that price isn't in a rush to do anything at the moment. And if it's not in a rush to do anything, then yeah, it can do anything basically, or almost anything though. Nonetheless, note how they only like pierce this low with wicks. No bodies are laid below it, so that's kind of like what I'm expecting to unfold, and see bodies laid inside of this area and here, potentially, right? Right now, yeah, it stopped. Yeah, and it's like really fuzzy, and we are in like the discount of this low to this high, so basically below the equilibrium of the entire range, and we've taken sell side liquidity already, like swept 2 times. In my opinion, that's not like enough. I'm expecting deeper, but this could ground a little bit of retracement near term if it remains that sloppy. But yeah, this is what where I'm watching right now. The price should gravitate to as a draw on liquidity. So let's see, another attempt in the making. And to be honest, I would like to see a large candle slicing through this area and quickly reaching towards the sell side liquidity below this low at 626. That's what I would like to see. That would kind of be in line with like this bearish tone of the marketplace that I'm currently studying. But yeah, right, so we got the BC nonetheless. We made a poke, deeper poke below those 2 lows, and I don't like to see it reject here. In my opinion, it should slice through and be heavy and do the follow through this remainder of that BC, right? So yeah, we'll see what we get. Right, so this is exactly what I was looking for. This large candle through this BC and kind of like follow through or continuation towards this low. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm already content with trading through this inefficiency. Now I'm like taking my attention to this low that I already mentioned earlier, that I'm personally thinking that it's likely to go there, but yeah, we'll see. So we traded to the low of this BC, slight coloring outside of the lines with the wicks, no closure below it yet, but if we can close below it, then I'm expecting quick delivery below the sell side. And yeah, we might be seeing that. Soon. Nonetheless, as we are about to close below it, I'll change the color to maybe this one. So yeah, price should not be trading or like closing above the original of this buy-side imbalances and inefficiency original range. Obviously it could trade as far as the consecutive encroachment, the midpoint, what we may see, but it's not constructive for the continuation lower if we start closing above it, right? So I didn't mention that, but there is actually a long wick on this candle here, and that long wick is always fishy, always suspect, because it can offer this type of reactions. Unless I'm still thinking the low is as a draw. I don't think we've been proven wrong yet. But this is an area, if I were short from anywhere up here, this would be an area for taking partial profits or like banking something on the shorts, definitely, and not requiring to see that low being taken out, because hey, what if it will not be taken out, right? Then you get a really screwed in terms of your emotional damage, kinda. That kinda, by not taking a partial, you kinda are doing the damage by yourself, and that's not really the market, right? It's you. So yeah, we repriced back to this small little fair value gap on the 1 minute, repel lower, and I would like to see quickly expand for or towards this low, sells liquidity, and that would be pretty much a great outline here. Nonetheless, we'll see what we get. Currently, as we are right now in very deep discount from this low to this high, so this is not an area where I would be taking shorts, okay? This is not an area. This is an area where you are allowed for taking something off, some partials, some profits. This is a good area for that. And yeah, regardless of what happens, if it goes lower, higher, this is a good area for taking something off. All right. I hope the 4 people that are watching right now are enjoying the outline, the stream. I do suffer a little bit of a headache today, so I'm kind of like not in my zone, to be honest. And I was planning on doing a little bit longer stream, but because of that I might be doing just a little bit longer instead and come back tomorrow. But yeah, unless a beautiful and fun price action today so far. So yeah, it's rejecting off of that wick on the 12-minute candle. I still kind of like submit to the idea of taking it out, but that's more of a like, you know, moral victory at this point, because if it goes higher, it goes higher. It is irrelevant. So price is clearly breaching the consecutive encroachment of that inversion fair value gap. Not closed above it yet, so that's good. Let's add the lines. So this is the consecutive encroachment. Preferably, if it's continuously bearish at the moment, we would like to see a nice sharp reaction here, but we can see that we closed above it already, and that's not something I like. Okay, so seeing that closure, if I haven't taken anything off here, I wouldn't feel comfortable holding the trade. Plus the probabilities are falling apart a little bit after this. So I mean, it can still deliver. It can still deliver, but the way it delivers might be less low resistance, more high resistance. Plus it can also like not deliver at all, and that's also in the realm of possibility. So it kind of becomes a 50-50, which is never really a good probability to work with, right? You kind of need like a better odds in your favor if you want to like really work with the price. But yeah, nonetheless, that's fine. So what happens here, by the way? What happens here? Because yeah, I was expecting this low to be taken out next. It failed, obviously. We see that at the moment it failed to do so. It traded into this weak consecutive encroachment and basically stopped and traded higher into the premium high of this inversion fair value gap. Alright, so now this is a key area in here, because if this can still resist it, the sell side is still open. But if price trades above it, outside of this inversion fair value gap, it kind of becomes a reclaimed bullish BC, and that is completely not good for bearishness near term. This is still fine. This is still good. It can still deliver. But let's like assume that it will fail to trade lower. What would that be? This low higher to this one that would be basically engineering sell-side liquidity. So if for whatever reason price would fail to take out this low at this moment, or at this like next 10 to 15 minutes, then that would be a huge engineered pool of sell-side liquidity that would be definitely 100% useful or interesting for the 9:30 opening, if it's still there. If it's still there, that would be a very, very strong candidate for a draw on liquidity. But obviously that may never unfold to blah blah blah. Yeah, English is not my first language, so I might be rusty with it a little bit. But yeah, I should get better with it over time. But yeah, nonetheless, that's a scenario to keep in mind. I'll take these lines off because we already saw that the consecutive encroachment was worked. I will trade to the high, failed to close above it, trade to the low, failed to close below it, staying inside of the range. Small little fair value gap here that we just bumped into. If it's really up to go lower, I would say it should do it now. If it fails in here, then it becomes really problematic in terms of like it might mean that a consolidation will happen, or maybe a reversal too, right? So then the probabilities are lower. But yeah, I guess I outlined majority of potential scenarios here. So by the way, this is the fair value gap that I was talking about. We traded into it here, gave institutional order for entry drill. It should trade below the sell set now if it's going to do so. It should not trade above that inefficiency here, because if it does, it's kind of less favorable. Okay, so it's kind of failing. To reach this inefficiency here. I like to see that. It should not really come back to it if it's good. But again, it's so close to the low here that it's really like hard for a very high probability in terms of like, you know, the probabilities are kind of falling off. Why? Because if we take this low to this high, we see we are in the lower quadrant of this entire range, so we are in deep discount, and deep discount is never really a good area for shorts. Not saying that it can't go lower. I think it should, to be honest, but that's what I'm looking for. But managing like the risk entering here is quite far more riskier. than entering in a premium. But all right, so we are selling off. Perfect from this institutional order for entry drill. Took this low. It should really dump below this sell side next, and that would basically complete what I was like looking for, this New York Open, right? So as you can see, this was a market maker sell model in the making here, being almost completed, one handle away or so. It stopped, but yeah, that's kind of what we are working with. All right, there we go. Sells a liquidity taken. Nice run through. That's what we like to see. So the market maker sell model is being completed at the moment. And that by definition, by the rules, that makes me go to the sidelines for the next couple of minutes. So yeah, we can see a continuation lower, like more abrupt. We can see consolidation, we can see reversal, we can see a lot of things after that, and yeah, I'm not comfortable calling what will happen next with great deal of probability after this was delivered. All right, so yeah, Tuesday after holiday. Offering some precision here, but nonetheless, by the way, so far after this like hour 20 of watching and reading the tape, I get the vibe of the order flow being like more bearish or bearishly favored, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of larger expansion on the downside. Yeah, by the way, this is the sell liquidity here from the pre-London, basically overnight. Also taken, that was the sell side for the day. And now we are in the exploration area, basically printing out a new low of the day, and that's still probably open as it is. 807 pre-market that I believe was like the run for the pre-market. IMO, it should or could go a little bit more quiet for the next hour 20, I guess, until the 9:30 open. And we'll see. By the way, how are you guys enjoying today's session so far? Are you trading anything? Are you tape reading? Just chilling? Feel free to let me know. Alrighty. Let me see what the ES did. So ES is about to reach the sell-side liquidity here on its own. Looking kind of heavy though, but yeah, we are still inside of this larger range, so no biggie. No big predictions though. And Nasdaq is definitely looking like not this low, guys. Not this low, and definitely consider it as a potential downside objective for the price in the near term, probably this week, to be honest, if nothing changes dramatically or drastically. This low and this low, too smooth, too clean. This Majorette buy side was being taken, they sold here. They will want to buy below this low or cover some of the shorts, right? And if you look very closely, there is this volume imbalance in here. So yeah, very strong draw on liquidity. Very strong draw on liquidity on the daily chart being here. So yeah, that's something that I would like note. I mean, I'm noting that already, but yeah, if you don't or haven't seen it yet, then yeah, probably you should be aware or at least consider that. At least consider that. Yep. Alright, so exploration below these ratifical lows. Losing some ground. So we've taken this short-term swing low in here. We failed to reach up into this little inefficiency here, this gap. That adds like heaviness, bearishness, and we have those like very smooth relative lows, with this low being higher than this one, which offers low resistance liquidity run condition. So it's a high probability draw, basically, this low. Lots of sell side below it. And on top of that, we have a volume imbalance, a gap, some sort of a gap here to the left. So that's a Binger draw. Binger draw. All right. I don't know if I lost connection or no. Okay, it was a lag. So yeah, let me remove this, all of this, and let me annotate this. All right, so this is an area, a point of interest on the downside that I personally believe that we are going to see that traded too. I'm not stating that we will go there today. We can, but I don't know if that's going to happen today. Day after holiday, probably not, but who knows? Unless the attention is there. So what does this mean? That the highest probable bias for the lower time frames will be bearish, basically, and longs or bullish setups should be either off or like failing a little bit more, and that's what we should see, and that's what we saw today, by the way. That's what we saw today. Too. All right. Hello, Money Glitch, by the way. Welcome. After a long time, yeah, very long time, probably too long, but still, I kinda like, I don't know, I have the passion again to have some fun with the charts and maybe add some value. Good to see you, by the way. I hope you're doing good. Plan? Do we have a plan? Of course. Plan is very simple, my friend. The plan is to have fun, stream a lot, I guess, and just enjoy the price action, the time, and keep keep sharpening the edge, the mastery. Never ending story, my friend. Yeah, and hopefully after a while we will grow our audience a little bit and we will have even more fun, I guess. I guess that's the plan though. Yeah, I was wondering today if anybody or anyone from the old crew will join or will remember. And yeah, I'm glad to see you, Money Glitch. I'm glad to see you. All right, so I'm watching this low here right now on the short term, and we have a little too smooth area right there on the buy side. We traded into this small little inefficiency here and reacted quite aggressively, so far at least, towards the relative equal highs. I would preferably take out the sell side first before I would like look for it, but yeah, that's still good enough as a little DD. Right there. Alright, so this little buy set here delivered, and above that we have this inefficiency. Oh, not this color. That's a CB. And let's see how or if we can trade into it next. I made too much money when market was going up and lost all when it started dropping and consolidating. What can I say? That's kind of how it is, right? Now trading small account. Yeah, that's still good. This environment in the last couple past last couple months was pretty difficult. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I personally had or have a lot of like doubts and struggles with that, for sure. Not a clear price action. A lot of manipulation, back and forth. So difficult. But yeah, hopefully that will end eventually, and we will see some cleaner price runs, and we will see some larger swings, higher, lower, who cares. But yeah, so we smashed through this little CB here. That's fine. I like to see that. I want to see this act as inversion. Okay, let's use this one. The next buy side liquidity pool obviously is here. That's not a rocket science, and we pretty much smashed through it very quickly. So let me annotate this one and the premium inefficiency here in form of a SIBI. So this is definitely an area that I'm personally interested in right now. How and or if we will be able to trade up into it. Alrighty. By the way, I have a link in the description to my Telegram channel that I will be like running in terms of like sharing some analysis, some opinions, some ideas. It's free, so it's free, so feel free to join if you want, if you like. It's, nothing's there yet, but I'm planning on, or I will be willing to add some value there too. Alright, so we reached the buy side and into this inefficiency rather quickly, rather smoothly. So this one, if we look at the range from this high to this low, that's a premium buy side and premium inefficiency. So how it will react here, how it will behave here is really key, or it's meaningful to see like the future price delivery. It was a quick run up. We left a lot of imbalances along the way. So this might be area, or this might be areas that will be likely revisited in the near future. Why you stream before market open? Because why not, right? Oh, I just had a little bit of free time, and I guess I just wanted to get back on track, and you know, I kind of need to like get unrust my language and like, you know, speak a little bit, do a little bit of exercise, you know, get back at it. Plus, you know, there is like no issue with like reading and watching the pre-market. That's pretty solid time window too. And especially if you add the fact or the argument that yesterday was holiday, and usually the 9:30 open or the AM session after a holiday sucks. So I rather went through this one, and it was nice, it delivered nicely, than be watching the you know, fuzzy back and forth price action during the morning session, right? Which prop do I trade mostly? Yeah, recently in recent months I was dealing with FTMO. I was working with them a little bit. When I was like switching a little bit to the forex trading and CFDs, because I don't know, I found it interesting to try there, but besides that I'm only having my top step accounts, 3 top step accounts that I have since like, I don't know, like 1.5 year or so. I don't know, I believe I had those accounts, or at least, I don't know, 1 or 2 since I was streaming last time, so I have them still. Yeah, by the way, this is a practice account here, and I have those 3 express accounts, but yeah, I don't do that much with this, to be honest. Because yeah, I don't mind the props that much, but I guess it's when we are demo balling on stream, that's more fun to do it with a prop than just with a paper trading. But yeah, who cares? FTMO have strict rule. What rule do you refer to specifically? Yeah, they have definitely like different rules in comparison to the future prop firms, right? But yeah, interesting venue, interesting. Yeah, mostly personal account. That's best, always best. All right, so we tapped the buy side liquidity here and into this fair value gap, but we did it only with a week. The body closed way lower, and then another attempt failed. So this CB now inversion fair value gap is something that I'm watching if it can draw down into this next, and how it does afterwards, right? This response here so far is rather heavy, rather bearish, unless we trade above it and then, you know, close above this for not inverse, above this imbalance, bearish for value gap, and we leave this like it is here and then start breaking lower, then this is quite bearish. But yeah, we'll see. So right now I'm watching if we can drop into this inversion fair value gap as we did, and I'm watching if we can see any discount sensitivity, any respect, support, any reaction like displacement out of this higher. Because if we do see that, then I want to see another attempt to reach here. But yeah, if we fail, then obviously my attention will draw mostly towards this low right there. All right, first touches in the upper half of this inversion. Oh, to be honest, it's a tough one, because yeah, technically in terms of like the precision elements, the aspect of like no spreads, and the access to the actual feed from CME for futures, I think that's like superior. That's just better in my opinion. That's just better versus the CFDs, right? The CFDs, the spreads, the brokers, the data is not that clean. The data is all many times like skewed, or you know, not precise, which is, yeah, you know, that's kind of like how forex goes. But that's the thing that I don't necessarily like about it. But at the same time, you get access to like many more different markets, which is probably like the biggest advantage. And yeah, the rules are also like, in my opinion, the rules are technically better in that sense that you can get more, right? And if you can do it, it's kind of like beneficial, because you technically it's free, right? Because you will get the fee refunded with the first payout. So if you can do it, then you know it's like free in a sense. But yeah, while in the futures you have to pay some fees and you will not get them back. But at the same time, it's far easier to pass, like, I don't know, Top Step or any, like the futures are way easier to pass. But yeah, it's a matter of preference after all, I guess. Alright, so far we are bouncing around this inversion fair value gap, respecting the high of it, but the reaction, the response in here is rather sloppy, rather slow, rather consolidated, which, you know, yeah, I think so too. It's far better. Also, you don't have like a trailing drawdown, right? The drawdown is static, so that's like huge difference, also huge benefit. But yeah, there are some shenanigans, I guess. I heard some stories, so you know, it's fine if it's like part of the journey to get your capital, your own capital, but it's kind of sus to rely on them, because yeah, one day they can be here, the other day they can be out of business basically, which is, yeah. I see. Yeah, by the way, it's kind of funny because like back when I started, like 8 years ago, right? Yeah, about that. Seven for sure, 8 almost. Everyone traded forex. Everyone traded forex. Everyone, or majority of people, were trading forex and CFDs, and futures were really off meta, and they, like, not many people were actually doing that back then. But now it kind of changed. I feel like everyone is trading futures, and the forex got a little bit forgotten. Obviously not completely, but that's how I feel it is right now. Majority of people I saw online, or I see online, they are all mainly futures traders now, which is interesting. But yeah, definitely there are some advantages and benefits in trading futures, which, yeah, I can appreciate too, especially when it comes to the precision and the data. The data is superior in futures markets. Actually, the data is like the best data you can get, from my experience. That's in futures. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's the thing about the props. They have the rules, and they can change the rules. They can do whatever they want. And yeah, I guess years ago, I was really hyped about the props, and I was really like, wow, that's a insane opportunity, and it is still, but they are definitely not making it easier for traders to, you know, make it. The rules became actually really, really absurd, in my opinion, and they are not for the good for traders. And yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Right, so we reacted off of this inversion fair value gap, but the run is actually very, very fuzzy, very sloppy, very slow. So I'm not really excited about this run up, to be honest. We left the relative equal lows in here. We can see them very clearly on the 5-second. Those relative equal lows here. I believe slightly above the upper quadrant of this CB. Yeah, technically basically at the upper quadrant. So that's kinda sus, kinda suspect. Having lows like this, it's hard to trust longs or long entries to see it trade higher. So yeah, I don't have a bias per se at the moment. Just watching the price, nothing is terribly obvious. We can possibly see a return back, revisit of this area here, which in my opinion is kinda less likely. I mean, still possible, but yeah, I guess that's where we are looking for. But at the same time, this low and this portion of that BC is also a solid candidate for price to go, which kind of makes it 50-50. Which, you know, it's not super convenient at the moment to say or state very, very one-sided. All right. Four people watching, 4 likes. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. There we go. Coming back on track. Yeah, but by the way, for anyone who was maybe not there earlier, I will be online more often. I will be online tomorrow for sure. What time? Maybe similar, maybe London, maybe both. We'll see how it goes and how much energy I will have for it. So far I think I will watch the price for like 5 to 10 more minutes and I will be going off for today. And yeah, I enjoyed today's session. It was really nice, to be honest. I think I kinda missed streaming, to be honest. Or I kinda realized I missed it more than I really missed it. If you know, you know. But yeah. I'm watching this Ferrari gap right here, and I would like to see it stay like it is and run below those equal lows that I mentioned on the 5-second chart here. That's something I'm watching right now. There we go. 850. We failed by just a little bit to take those lows out, and we got a huge expansion, huge run up. Kind of feels like a manual intervention, to be honest. I can tell you that. So yep. That's a nice one though. That's a banger. So smashed through this buy side and fair value gap, right away sweeping towards the high. That was, by the way, the high of the New York Open. Yeah, very interesting. Basically anyone who was short through this morning was basically killed in game, by the way. And yeah, but note the fact that they left those equal lows in play, right? Those 5-second relative equal lows here went very close to them, and then price screamed higher, leaving now also relative equal lows here on the 1-minute chart, which this is definitely an area of interest as we will go further into today. Likely after the 9:30, this might be a point of interest to look for, because yeah, there will be a lot of sell side resting there. And yeah, all right, interesting. So that was a manual intervention indeed. That was Carl pushing the button and taking the price from here to here in 2 minutes. And yeah, I mean, there is nothing you can do about it. Yeah, that's the biggest risk that we encounter as traders, the manual intervention. No one can stand against that, basically. And we saw it today. So yeah, this is basically a moment where the stop loss can save the day or week or month. Okay. So after we've seen something like that, like this, I'm not in a rush to, you know, to get involved in the price action. I really want to give it like, you know, 10-15 minutes to see if it goes to normal delivery or not, right? Because yeah, that brings the danger of the manual intervention that can really be unpleasant to stay against. All right, so after the buy set was taken, after this run was like very sudden and aggressive, the price is already failing and trading lower. We trade back into this fair value gap in here, which was premium when we were below it, but now it should act as a discount array if it's bullish. So this is what I'm watching right now. If it shows discount sensitivity, a run or a higher high is not ruled out, right? Okay, so I guess I'm pretty content with today. This area in here, note that the 24,577 even, if it's not, if this will be untouched untraded to at 9:30. Watch this. If it offers any draw on price, because this is high probability to draw on liquidity. If it's in price. Right now we are coming back lower here. IMO, if they take it right away, that's like, wow, completely manually driven, and they clearing the board on the buy side and sell side, and then it might get nasty, right? No discount sensitivity here already. Opens the gate for running the sell side liquidity here out, unless they play some shenanigans, which, you know, you never know, right? So that's what it is. Thank you very much for the session today. I had fun watching the price, engaging it. It was cool, and yeah, hopefully we will see each other tomorrow. What time? We'll see. I don't want to say. I might do some London tomorrow. It might be interesting. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a pleasant day.